Should be a lot stronger, right?
Never heard that before.
I don't even know what day today is. How's the day going?
It is kind of a full day.
Watch out.
That's the wall.
School has already been going for like a few weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Y'all remember first day of high school?
Oof.
Yes. I do.
Excited? Nervous? What was
I was
the
nervous.
vibes?
I was nervous because I'm the youngest in my family. I have 2 older sisters, and both of them were like, okay, one was like valedictorian. The other one was always like star in the play. Like they were
So,
just
like,
like
big
real
shoes to fill.
successful. Yeah, and I had a teacher literally tell me that at orientation. She was like, "You got some big shoes to fill," and I was like,
Thanks.
"Great."
Like,
so
thanks.
I like walked into
I am 14, but
my first day, and I was like, "Well, I don't know how to do this."
feel that, Carlos. I feel like you were the man on campus, yo. I know freshman year you was in there like, hey, yo, bruh, this is the intro to Poppy.
He was the one that like woke
I
up
don't know,
early
man.
and was like, "I'm
Had
so
to fit.
excited."
I just specifically remember like my brother is 4 years like older than me.
Yeah.
So when I started middle school, he was in high school. When I started high school, he was already gone too.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh dang, I'm kind of solo right now.
Yeah.
I actually am kind of solo.
Yeah.
So going into new high school and not knowing anybody, I was like, what can I rely on to get me to like, okay, someone's gonna like me if I do this or something like that. Low-key, a lot of pressure.
Yes. Totally.
A lot of pressure just to find your crew of people. You could easily be like, oh, it's nothing. It's just, ninth grade. We've all been there. It's easy. That pressure is kind of insane.
It is.
Because it's like you trying to find people who you're going to roll with for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like the conversation of like college and stuff like comes
gosh.
earlier and earlier. Because I remember like starting high school and they're like, you should definitely take like these classes if you want to do this in college and you want to get these credits. And I got so overwhelmed because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm just trying to figure out like where my next class is.
Well, how do you, everybody does it differently. How do you manage that pressure? How do you manage the pressure of like just life as a whole?
Yeah.
You're really like just navigating so much
Yeah.
because it's like you want to be a good student. You're trying to make friends. You want to try and play a sport at some point. And so it's like you're trying to make yourself well-rounded while trying to balance everything. And it's just like, okay, how do you teach yourself how to balance like what's important in this season and what's important in other seasons? Because like all those things are going to always be pulling for your attention in school. But it's learning how to switch gears, I feel like was the thing for me in high school, just knowing like, okay, winter is coming up, so then like, maybe I'm just like in the books more than usual.
Okay.
I had social media when I was in high school, but it was like relatively new.
Okay.
Whereas like now
it's
where
it's
social
all
media
time.
is, I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Because you would see people like in your class like have, my school had uniforms. So it was all about shoes.
I went to private school.
Yeah, same.
I went to private school like almost all my life, dude.
Yeah, same.
Legit.
And
I had
like,
my polo shirt tucked into my khaki
oh,
pants.
yes.
But you gotta flex on them with the belt. The belt is how you flex on
Yes,
them.
or shoes. Shoes was like the place like you would like be in class and be looking down. You're like, wow.
Different.
For real. But how did you like manage it, Josh? You talked about like you had to switch gears. Like what made you do that?
Definitely didn't do it well on me. I probably wasted the first 2 years of high school just trying to be that guy who wanted to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
And then you realize at the end of the day, it's like, oh, that actually wasn't important. But at the time, it feels like it's the most important thing. Because you're like, man, bro, I got to find my people. I got to do all these things. And then you come up and then you're just like, oh, wait. There was other things that probably were more important. But it's one of those things that you kind of have to experience it, though. So I feel like there's health in that because you're not going to make every move right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well,
and there's grace for that.
Yeah,
it's like,
totally.
You're not going to be the first one to ever make a mistake. Right. You're not going to be the first one to focus on the wrong thing at times. It's like you open up the Bible, it's the same thing.
Yep.
You see a bunch of people messing up. You see a bunch of people, and that's why it's like Pastor says all the time, like this book is alive. Like this Word of God is alive right now. And you think about 1,000 years ago, but you open it up and see someone who made a mistake, and then they run to God and recover from it. It's like, okay, I can learn from my mistakes. I could also waste it. If I make a mistake and I don't learn from it, then like that's a growing season that I just let fly right by. But
well, what's weird too is that like what we just described experiencing in high school, like I experience in adulthood too.
Dang, yeah.
Because it's like you don't like when you graduate high school, it's not like wow, I totally know who I am. My identity is solid. Nothing can shake it. Belonging is just such like a pervasive, I feel like, fear, because you're like, do I not? Because I don't look like that, or I don't like the same things, or whatever. I don't wear camo shirts, but we can be friends, you know?
I mean,
And you don't wear this color, probably.
No,
Maybe you do.
I'd probably,
okay.
I'd probably rock it.
No, but that's what's weird is you don't just like grow out of that. You still have to, it like is a thing you have to practice, I feel like your whole life.
Like I wish we could tell them like, it goes away.
It's over.
It goes away.
Give it 4 years.
The pressure sometimes just doesn't go away.
It doesn't.
So it's like how you manage it, how you kind of figure things out, how like who do you actually rely on? Because I mean, my friends in high school are not the friends I have anymore.
Right.
Even the friends in college are low-key not the ones either. You know? So it's like, if I trust someone with everything, and then like the next year they might not be around.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, who's helping me? Who's actually beside me? Who's someone that could actually stay with me through it all? So
I mean, you talk about friendships, and I really think that stuff is like seasonal. Like obviously you have like your core people who will probably rock with you for a good portion of your life. Some friends are seasonal. I think that's the thing that I've been kind of like reflecting on, of just like, man, I kind of remember when me and this person were close and we were kicking it, and you had that class with that one person. Like, oh yeah, you were best friends, and you were best friends for that year because you were always around each other. It's like, man, it's really seasonal. So like really just cherishing the moments. Like we might not always be close like this, but appreciating the time that we have right now to be close, you know?
Because proximity, I feel like proximity, it's like when you would be in class and you'd be like, I don't know anyone in this class. And then the person sitting right next to you, you're
that's
like,
all you got right now.
You don't have a choice. We're gonna be best friends. We're gonna stress out together about this class. But then that class ends, and then it's like your responsibility. Like do you wanna keep that?
And then it's like my brothers, my sister, my mom, and my dad. I probably should have relied on them a little bit more in high school than I really did.
Totally.
I mean, even in middle school too. It's like I was trying to find my way, and I was like, I should have just asked my dad, like, what should I do here? They probably knew.
But at the time, you were like, they don't understand me. They don't know, you know, why I want to do this or that.
And they 100% do is the crazy thing.
Because they know you better than literally anyone.
Yep. All right, so we just took the lap. Laps and lessons. Lap is done. What's the lesson? What's the takeaway?
What's the lesson, Josh?
What's the lesson?
I don't know why y'all looking at me, y'all. Same tricks, new obstacles. Like a lot of times you're dealing with the same tensions even as you get older, but it's at a different level.
Can't outgrow it.
Hey, what did Pastor? New levels, same devils?
Yep.
Good Lord. That's good. What, you got a lesson?
Sometimes high school doesn't end. There's stuff that you still deal with that you dealt with in high school. So now's the time to start gaining the handles on how to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to think of who you got around you. Who's around you? What friends you got?
That makes it harder or easier.
Exactly. So it's important. It's important who you got around you. So it's like, okay, take a second, maybe think about like, all right, is this person good for me? Is this a long run person? Or should I low-key talk to my moms for a little bit? Like, that's kind of my lesson. Literally, I'm gonna go call my moms. I feel like I should call moms
right now. Where's she at?
I'm about to call my mom and be like, how you doing? I need some help.
You guys are sprinting. Oh! Time, one at a time. Only 1v1. 1v1.
Is that walking?
That's sprinting. That's too fast. You're going too fast. Oh! Yeah, it's.
I've seen the TikToks, bro. I'm a professional. You want to be on defense or offense? I'm on offense. Here we go. And then we'll switch up. Who's my QB? I better not give me some bum QB.
Yo, is your Mac broken, dog? Why is your Mac that high off the ground, dog? Oh, okay. That's so cheap. Oh, Gabe, you overthrew it.
Sorry, it's the walking thing, bro. I'm on you, boy.
Gabe hit the line.
Oh my God. Everyone does it like this.
For real.
That boy look like he's glitching. He need better internet.
Oh!
What?
is copy paste. That's all I saw. Copy paste.
It's like you were
I was literally moving in slow-mo.
All right, so 3v3. Two-minute drill. False start, baby. False start. Back it up. 5 yards. 1, 2, 5 yards. He says set. The 5 zone. I got Andrew. Look at it. Oh.
Hey, they got y'all.
He missed it.
He dropped it.
Hold on, instant replay.
Send it back. Kitt, just like 10 yards back.
Oh, that's perfect, dude.
If you break my whiteboard, you're paying for 2 more and like 10 times bigger.
What has God been teaching me? I think the thing that God's been teaching me that's really been difficult for me to accept because of how simple it is that He cares way more about like just me and Him being like me spending time with Him. What I'm doing is not nearly as important as the fact that I do it with Him, that I'm included in that with Him. And I'm thinking about like how anytime I build stuff at the house, my wife is just like, we need a new shelf because why not? You know, it's an empty corner. Why not buy a new shelf? And to put it together, it'll take me 10 minutes. To do it with my sons takes me an hour, but I'd rather do it with my sons because I get to do it with them, right? And I think a lot of times I have overcomplicated like my relationship with God and making it into this thing. I have to go to church on Sunday and I have to go to my EGROUP on Tuesday and then I have to do this and I have to do this in order for me to, and really God is like, do all those things because it's great to do and it's beneficial for you and it's cool. But I think the bigger thing for me is like, man, sometimes I forget I can just talk to God the same way my sons talk to me when we build a shelf together. That when I buy a new grill, I'm always trying to buy the newest, latest grill, like, and I want to build it with my boys. And the reason I love doing that is because the talks we have while we build something, while we do something together. And sometimes it ain't even functional. Sometimes you build forts just because that's a cool thing to do with your kids. But like, man, the conversations that I have with my kids during those times is so valuable to me. And I think God is trying to teach me that my relationship with Him is the same way, that like I can really just talk to God the same way my sons talk to me, and that I can really tell Him what's on my mind. I can tell Him what's frustrating me. I can tell Him what's painful. I can tell Him what I'm confused about. And like, I think He just wants to hear that and cares about that kind of stuff way more than me checking a box or me doing something that I think I'm supposed to be doing or something like that. This is not me saying that people shouldn't go to their EGROUP or people shouldn't go to church because I talk to God so I don't need church. That's not what I'm saying. I just think God is like the relational part of like my relationship with God is the part that I'm having to relearn in this season of my life of just like, yo man, God just wants me to talk to Him. He just wants me to be with Him. He just wants to spend time with me. And it's so hard to do because of how simple it is. And I think sometimes, maybe I won't put this on anybody else. I'll say this about myself. I want to do the hard thing. I want to do the thing that's difficult. I want to do the thing that takes a lot. And so sometimes in my effort to do those things, the truth is like I struggle with the simple stuff. I struggle with the little stuff. And I think God is what He's trying to get me to this point of just like, just be with me, hang out with me, talk to me. We put the value of our faith in the things we do and not in the time we spend with Him. And so if you were to ask me, man, what's something that you and your son, your oldest son, are talking about, I can tell you. What's something you and your younger son are talking about, I can tell you. What's something you or your daughter are talking about? I know all the first grade drama happening at my daughter's school right now. It's all we talk about. If you were to ask me, man, what's the last good conversation you and your wife had? I can give you this whole rundown. But if you were like, man, what's the last thing you and God, like, what are you and God talking about right now? I'm like, oh man, I gotta think about that. We immediately go to, what did I talk about and what did we talk about at EGROUP? What was Pastor's sermon about? What was this, what was that? And I just think God is just like, yo man, talk to me. Turn the music off in the car and talk to me. Sometimes I put my AirPods on maybe this is a weirdo thing. So if in a year this is weird, then let's just cut this out. But sometimes I put my earphones on because my AirPods are noise canceling, and I'm not listening to anything. And that's some time for me to just kind of communicate to people around me. I don't want to talk to you. So like I can spend time talking to God. And it really has been such a cool thing to be able to just be like, oh man, a lot of the processing of life and trying to figure stuff out that I've been struggling to do on my own is so much easier because I'm having conversations with God. And I've never gotten out of a conversation with God and been like, I need to do more to achieve. I just don't leave conversations with God that way.
We believe in the youth!